and rebound ricochet off the walls to your chest, feel it penetrate as it runs right through every vertebrae. It all, it all, it all. So pick up the pace so you can't be clutching onto the brace, better keep it running. I'm on a wave, baby, are you coming? Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Get close, don't know what you've been told. It's all mirrors and soul. You should lose control. Just leave all that pressure, get free. I got all that you need. Can you get on my speed? Push the tempo. Push the tempo, push the tempo. Push the tempo, push the tempo. We're gonna shut it down, 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 down. We're gonna shut it down, 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 down. We're gonna shut it down. System at the ready, turn the beats up loud. Can you hear me now? Bravers, are you ready? Do you feel that sound? We're gonna shut it down. System at the ready, turn the beats up loud. Can you hear me now? Bravers, are you ready? Do you feel that sound? Going crazy for this rhythm, I can feel it in my system. Like a new life has been given, like I'm Haiti on a mission. We can run this town, we can shut it down. Got the crowd eating all the palm of our hands now. If you want it hot and heavy, dark and dirty, getting sweaty, let me see you make a signal, get those gun fingers ready. Never do it, let's who got that BD energy. You're fucking with the lips of energy, Molly. We're gonna shut it down. System at the ready, turn the beats up loud. Can you hear me now? Bravers, are you ready? Do you feel that sound? We're gonna shut it down. System at the ready, turn the beats up loud. Can you hear me now? Bravers, are you ready? Do you feel that sound? We're gonna shut it down, 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 down. Oh, we're gonna shut it down. We're gonna shut it down, 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 down. Can you hear me now? We're gonna shut it down, 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 down. Oh, we're gonna shut it down, 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 down. From the UK to NZ, we're part of the scene. The fast drums, the deep bass, we're living the dream. Playing these shows where the beat goes, we follow. Family grows as we lead like Apollo. Oh, we worship the sound. Oh, we are loyal and proud. From the charts to the underground. If you with me, let me hear you now. We're gonna shut it down. System at the ready, turn the beats up loud. Can you hear me now? Bravers, are you ready? Do you feel that sound? We're gonna shut it down. System at the ready, turn the beats up loud. Can you hear me now? Bravers, are you ready? Do you feel that sound? We're gonna shut it down, 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 down. Oh, we're gonna shut it down. We're gonna shut it down, 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 down. Oh, feel me now. We're gonna shut it down, down, down. Oh, shut it down. We're gonna shut it down, down, down. We're in paradise, yeah, yeah, yeah. We're in paradise, yeah, yeah, yeah. We're in paradise, yeah, yeah, yeah. We've reached the afterlife. We're making through the night.
Yo, I've been to hell and back with you. Now we're in paradise. Look at all these flashing lights. Sub-vibrating, levitating, flying high. We've reached the afterlife. We're making can't take the music from me, I'm fighting now. I ain't going out lying down. We're in paradise. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're in paradise. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're in paradise. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've reached the afterlife. We'll make it through the night. We're in paradise. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wish I had all the answers to get what I want. I tell the universe, give me it all. But I need to learn to sit back and observe. I'm already living a life from another world. They say any moment can turn into a miracle. Are you chosen? Do you stand where the light falls? They say any moment can turn into a miracle. Oh baby, are you chosen? Or are you already powerful? They say any moment can turn into a miracle. Are you chosen? Do you stand where the light falls? They say any moment can turn into a miracle. Oh baby, are you chosen? Or are you already powerful? I had to take some time away, do that shadow work to stay in the game. Oh, relentless reshaping to keep up with the changes. A new world every day. Another chance to say what's on your mind. Don't you keep it inside. They say any moment can turn into a miracle. Oh, a miracle. Are you chosen? Are you chosen? Do you stand where the light falls? They say any moment can turn into a miracle. Oh baby, are you chosen? Or are you already powerful? They say any moment can turn into a miracle. Baby, are you chosen? Do you stand where the light falls? They say any moment can turn into a miracle.
Double 007 when versing, 007 when flirting. Blind guy came to my show, said I was better in person. Yeah, said I had blood on my Air Force, this time red wine and bourbon. Custom made that words, and this right here for a different excursion. Bow, bow, let's have it. I can't stop having it off, I'm stuck in a habit. Yeah, red wine filling my cup, I'm a Vino bandit. Yeah, my surname is what it is, would have thought I planned it. I'm too outlandish. Anyone don't like drums, man, I don't speak their language. Half of the team in laughing states, don't mean Tiffany Haddish. Bitch is the baddest, so after the summer to me and my mother, I miss it to Paris. So when I wave and the parties are done, five figure last month, don't start with a one. Come a long way, but hardly begun. Yeah, get a wheel up off your mum. Wheel it again, said no, not done. Me, I'm the prettiest son of a gun. This one here, as high as it gets, don't fly too close to the sun. Bow, bow. With a girl when raving, next day chasing pavements. Just in a bag in public, I'll never be famous. My guy trying to pattern me up, I don't know what my name is. One too many, I can't stand up on top of the world, red wine and trainers. Bow, bow, pour me another. My girl said I've had too much, I tell her I love her. Get into bed, I'm staring at walls, she's still in the cover. Stupid o'clock and I can't find Ubers, end up belling my mother. Vino bandit, yeah, me and K-Motion's working, that's a cheat code anthem. Yeah, me and one hits on hits, me and K both have them. Yeah, Young Songs wide of the post, I think Timo banged them. Vino bandit, yeah, me and K-Motion's working, that's a cheat code anthem. Yeah, me and one hits on hits, me and K both have them. Yeah, Young Songs wide of the post, I think Timo banged them. Oh my days, that is a slapper.
If I could jump over mountains, run across the sea, would you be down with me? Would you be down with me? If I could stop rain from falling down upon your dreams, would you be down with me? Would you be down with me? If I could jump over mountains, run across the sea, would you be down with me? Yeah, would you be down with me? Oh, if I could stop rain from falling down upon your dreams, would you be down with me? Yeah, would you be down with me? Oh, if I could.
Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome to tonight's game. We have got the undefeated team of Old and Washed, and they are playing against Titans Never Surrender. So we are just waiting for a few people to finalize the lobby and make their way in. Apparently, too many people are still eating dinner right now. So we're having a great discussion about what everyone's having. A lot of pizza happening tonight, so not sure about you guys, but that is what we're working with. Actually, I just realized my mic is in the wrong position. Let me get that fixed quickly. Yep. So just waiting on everyone to get in the lobby before we can start drafting. And so yeah, as I said, old and washed versus Titans Never Surrender. Now, there's been a couple roster changes on Titans Never Surrender, I've been told. I think their mid and jungle may have been switched out. So let's see. Yes, depending on how familiar you guys all are with the current roster, the original listed roster was we've got YSL, obviously for Yves or Yves Saint Laurent in the top lane. Trex was originally their jungler. They have now been switched out with Spinach. So that is a good point. I should probably go look up his OPGG, as I had no idea who was going to be in it until now. And in the mid lane, yes, we've got someone else. We've got a Swelfie. So I think that could be a bit of a hit, as their previous mid laner, Veracity, was their highest ranked player sitting at Master. So let's see how we go. Well, these guys are good. Apparently they can they figured out how to do no delay. Let's see if that actually works. But either way, no, now they're saying that maybe there will be delay. That's okay. We're used to a little bit of spectator delay. That is normal. Anyway, so back to figuring out who Titans Never Surrender are playing in their mid lane. Let's take a quick look, as I should get prepared for what we're going to be running with today. So, Swelfie, let's take a look at your OPGG and see how you're doing. Draft link. Let me put that back in the chat for them. Sorry guys for a little bit of the delay at the start, just while we sort everything out, as we have got a few new members as mentioned. So just trying to make sure everything's sorted. Yep, okay, looks like both teams have managed to make their way into the draft tool today. So that's always a good time. And there's a couple of Swelfie profiles, so I'm gonna pick the highest one and the one that plays mid lane. Looks like they are currently sitting at Emerald, but they were Master last season, so could be quite the player today for the side of Titans Never Surrender, and they need that, as apparently my slides are outdated, and they are 8-4, not 8-2. So it looks like they lost their last game 0-2. So struggling a little bit after what was a super dominant beginning. And yes, we are in draft now. So first ban comes out as the Xinjiao from Old and Washed. Titans Never Surrender, respond of a Nidalee ban. Super important. BRDN, who's playing as the jungler for Old and Washed. Master player, plays Nidalee a lot, so they're going to want to get that out. I think Mundo is going to be quite a priority ban, as both teams do play it time to time. Specifically, YSL on the top lane of Titans Never Surrender does love a Mundo. So, oh, sorry, their old jungler did. Their new jungler, I don't know actually. So, not too sure why the Mundo's getting banned from Old and Washed, considering that their top and jungle play Mundo. So, must just not want to play into it. We've got Ashe coming through, first pick for Old and Wash. Makes sense. Their ADC, Abe, is a very accomplished Ashe player, one of their most played champions by the looks of things. So we'll be looking to take advantage of that pick in game 1 of tonight. And let's quickly... MF coming through for Titans Never Surrender. That will be played by, yes, Monroe. Quite a proficient MF player as well. I did manage to note down that as being a champ they did do quite a lot of game time with. And let's take a look. So Swelfie's champs, our fill and mid laner for Titans Never Surrender, are really going to be the Orianna, Syndra, and Veigar is what I can see. But they're going to start with the Victor. Victor also being played this season by Swelfie. Currently sitting at a 0% win rate. To be fair, only one game, so maybe it's just maybe later in team lane, who knows. But Victor coming on through for them. So lots of zone control in that mid lane. I think it's Gravity Field, or obviously those circles that stun, going to be great with that MF ult as well too. Braun coming through for Old and Washed. Kind of figures both supports are trying to do the same thing for these teams. They both love a lot of engage and appeal for their ADC. So I think we're going to see a lot of high priority on those picks specifically. The Braun being played by both the sup for Old and Washed of golden features and lightness on the side of Titans Never Surrender. The Ari picked up for the mid lane. That will be played by Griff. We'll see how he does on that. I don't have any initial thoughts right now on that one. Ashe slows can make it easier to get hit with the charm, I suppose, in a team fight. Otherwise, of course, can be layered onto the Ashe arrow. Does give a little bit of engage as well, which the Braum can lack compared to other supports. Ambessa, super strong pick coming through to Titans Never Surrender. I think that's going to be going to the jungle, which I will take a look at right now, as again, we're not too familiar with Spinach as a jungler, as he is filling in for Titans Never Surrender tonight. So let's take a look at some of his champ history. Wow, so quite a strong player we have here. Currently sitting at Masters. And top play champ is Xinjiao. That makes sense as to why that wasn't banned, as well as the Jarvan 4. But Ambessa is sitting in that third spot, so that will likely, and I'm almost 100% certain, be a jungle Ambessa. So going to be really strong on the side of Titans of Surrender with that. Lots of good ability to get into the back line, get through that Braum, and get onto that Ashe and shut her down when it comes time to do that. Obviously just causing havoc in the back line of Old and Washed. We've seen some great Ambessa games recently. I mean, even the game I last casted on Sunday between the Coven and Do Not Redeem, Jetman was playing great on the Ambessa on one of those games. So looking to see some great Ambessa play tonight. Rakan coming through as well as the support. In case anybody is wondering, the reason that Titans Never Surrender aren't getting their 4th and 5th bans is because they did end up swapping out 2 members. So just to even things out, as to not give them any advantage of bringing in any new players that may not be pre-prepared, they are losing 2 bans at this stage for it. So that is unfortunate for them. However, I think that this ambassador is going to do lots of work on the side of Titans Never Surrender, and I am super excited to see how she fares on the Rift today. Malphite coming on in for Old and Washed, another comfort pick for the side of their top lane. You Can Dream. The man himself is dreaming of playing Malphite tonight, and he's going to get it. No chance of that going jungle, as Kha'Zix has been locked in as well. Getting a lot of priority recently as this Kha'Zix, feeling super strong on the current patch. Don't know if anybody else saw the patch notes for next time. Is getting a bit of a nerf. I didn't check the exact details, but looks like that will be happening. But for now, we can still take advantage of it. And the last pick, Mordekaiser for Titans Never Surrender, going top lane for that one. See how YSL does on that. Lovely name, by the way. You know, who doesn't love YSL, right? I don't know any other guys out there. Valentine's Day recently, I'm sure we were all in the YSL store buying who knows what for the special woman in our lives. Or the other way around, you know, maybe your boyfriend wants a purse, and that is also very commendable. If I had a YSL purse, I would probably bring it with me everywhere as well, but I don't think anyone's going to buy me one. And looks like we are ready to start with the teams. See what we can do getting in on this game. I'm interested to see if they figured out a way to negate the Spectre's delay on that one. So they're just locking in their picks in the client today. Jeez, that was my coaster falling down from my drink. Thank you so much to our lovely chatter of what lots of numbers 241354646 means a lot, man. I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest. I'm gonna, yeah, that you've made my night, to be honest. Yeah. If only my partner could live up to those standards that you have set in this room today. I sincerely hope that you have someone in your life that does that for you. Late night, oh, hey Grunky. Tell you what, I've been really into orange juice recently. I think I've just found breakfast drinks can be a nighttime drinks as well. This specifically is Red Bull and orange juice, and I don't know. I've really enjoyed that combination. I couldn't tell you why. This is the second time I put those two together after going to the gym on Monday and using it, because I refused to use my partner's pre-workout because it smells funny. So I thought I would have a more natural blend of fluids. Probably still just as bad for you though, but it's quite a kick combination. So I'm gonna, oh yeah, no spectator delay. We're gonna go straight into game. This is amazing. Just loading in right now. Obviously, to anybody watching that needs some context, this is a best of 3 fearless between the two teams. We are in game 1. So potential to go 3 games tonight. That is always the dream. At least we will get 2. And all the champions you're seeing on the Rift right now will not be seen again. So make the most of it and enjoy. So let's see, yeah. All the players' names are up. Got the scoreboard up. Scores are 0 and 0. I have set the sides correctly. If anyone noticed anything, please let me know in chat so I can fix it right away. Starting out in the bot lane. Or I should say, actually, more actions going up in the jungle at first. Malphite's helping Kha'Zix make sure his top side is clear. Pinging ping banana bush for a few wards on that one. Ari looks like she's placed a ward there, as well as the Victor has. Both junglers starting top side, so going to meet that first scuttle, assuming there's no level 2 or 3 shenanigans at the start of this game. Lots of poke coming out of both ADCs. They're both pretty bullyish in lane most of the time. They're probably looking to get a few shots onto one another throughout the laning phase. Both junglers starting off with the red jungle pet. Definitely pretty normal for Kha'Zix. And Bessa, I reckon she can go blue sometimes if she needs a bit of mobility. But looking for a bit of extra damage. So hopefully Spinach can make use of the burn effect. It'll come out later once the jungle quest is complete for him. Kha'Zix is looking for an early invade already. Pinging the bot side of Titans Never Surrender. Let's see how this goes for him. You know, Kha'Zix does love to isolate players. Kind of his whole thing is that isolation. And Bessa is alone right now. I bet you he's in a bush right now, waiting for her to finish the Krugs. If you look closely at the map, you can see that. I'm sure our director cam will cut to that as soon as he jumps on her. Spinach is currently unaware. Well, he is now, as the bot lane of Titans Never Surrender are going up to match him. The Mordekaiser's popped his Circle of Doom and is dealing some damage to the Malphite. Looks like nothing comes of it in the end for the early invade on a Spinach. Spinach doing well to get out of that, and looks like maintaining, I think might have lost something there, as Spinach's jungle is clear. Kha'Zix has still got 2 camps up, so I reckon Kha'Zix got a smite in there somewhere. Probably the Gromp, as we did see Spinach take away the blue buff in the end. However, there is now a ward in that bottom side for Titans Never Surrender that will be giving him lots of information moving forward. I think the jungle matchup is going to be pretty intense today. We've got 2 master players going against each other. Again, that is some of OCE's best, so looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Top lane being pushed in by Mordekaiser early on. Looking to bully that Malphite. Interesting to see what Mordekaiser is going to build, as Thorn Shield is the first item. You'd think maybe that would be getting a bit of AP on that Mordekaiser tonight, as obviously Malphite being a natural armor stacker would be looking to ideally be facing 3 AD champs with the MF, Ambessa, and an AD focused Mordekaiser. So I am sure YSL will notice that and respond accordingly to it. Right now, still just trying to deny You Can Dream some of that CS. You Can Dream is now dreaming about getting a bit of damage onto YSL as he again brings up that circle of death and destruction to push You Can Dream back out. We've got Hextech Drake up first. High prio Drake for any composition with ADC on it, which just so happens both these teams have an ADC, so they will be looking to get that. Kha'Zix is starting it up right now with the Borm rotating over, so support is indeed going to be supporting that, and they will get it as the Ambess is just reset and is popping top side. So no contest on the side of Titans Never Surrender, giving that one out. Bot lane of Titans Never Surrender getting a bit pushed in here. A lot of priority so far going to Old and Washed on that bottom side of the map. And that did result in the first drag take for them. And Bessa getting the scuttle top side. Victor farming up just under turret, trying to make sure he doesn't get charmed by that Ari and chunked out. Ari's going to reset after pushing in the wave. Currently got a bit more damage than that Victor does with 2 lost chapters. And coming back in now. Kha'Zix is worried that Mbessa's going to be in his jungle, as he's pinging a little bit of question marks over there. Fear not for the Kha'Zix, as Mbessa is topside currently. However, Mbessa knows that Kha'Zix is up there, as the resulting things do come out. Missed Q there by the Braum. Not going to result in anything though, and misses it again. Probably just a bit of self-confidence going away on that one, but I'm sure he will be fine. Golden Features is a great support player, and he will be looking to show that tonight. Currently though, every time the camera cuts to him, he's having a rough time with aiming. But that's fine, because when you put up the door, you don't need to aim. You just need to be in front of your ADC, which is significantly easier. Standard pathing from both jungles right now. Mbessa did manage to clear the ward that BRDN put over there, so he will have a bit less information. However, looks like they have managed to put a ward in the bush I don't know the name of in the jungle. Ari's stunned up by the gravity field. Doesn't take too much damage though, and escapes with minimal health loss. Kha'Zix jumps on in onto Swelfie and takes the first blood, as I didn't expect him to be in the jungle either, and neither did the Titans Never Surrender, and they've paid for it. They are going to get one back on the Ashe, as the dash out does come in from BRDN. He might be looking to re-engage though, as the Braum ult does come out as well too. Smite onto the Braum, just to be good at the force. The Ari comes in to clean up, gets the ult out, flash out, and there is a double kill for the side of Kha'Zix, and 1 kill and 3 assists for Ari. So great start for Old and Washed, both Griff and BRDN. Some great communication and teamwork on that one. Both going at the same time after the Braum ult, just layering the damage on top of the CC that was offered by that. Again, Braum, not exactly your standard engage support, but the knock up on that ult is substantial, especially when you get it onto 3 members. Fed Kha'Zix, not really what you want. Luckily, Spinach did manage to get at least 1 kill on that Mbessa onto Abe in the bot lane, so should allow their bot lane of Mondo and Lightless to not get pushed too far back. However, it is currently looking that way, with, despite parity on KDA, Abe still being down about 20 CS, and they are both in lane right now, so no wave advantage for either one of them, as the Old and Washed ADC and support Geo continue to push in that lane. Rakan clearing out wards in Ambessa's jungle, not looking for the Kha'Zix double kill version 2, which is fair enough. However, they missed one, so I reckon we might be getting it again. Using that information, knowing that Mbessa's going to be there, Kha'Zix does take the grubs. Again, BRDN looking dominant in the first 10 minutes of this match with both the Drake and the grubs. You know he feels good. I would feel good. You're 3-0-1, both neutral objectives. Your red buff is up and not stolen. I can't ask for more as a jungler. I envy his position personally. Okay. Malphite comes through, ult onto Swelfie, and Charm on top of that. So that is one dead Victor. 0-2-0 now, down about 10 CS, and going to be down a bit more likely after the respawn timer runs out. It is all in the negative for Titans Never Surrender at the start of game 1, as Old and Washed look to continue to put their current carries ahead of the Kazakhs and Ari. Sizable gold bounties on both of them, as the second Drake goes over to Old and Washed. Again, absolutely no contesting from that Ambessa, and they are currently trying to look for an invade on BRDN's top side. However, no camps are up besides the Grump, which Ambessa will take. However, probably not a trade up when getting a Dragon on the other side. YSL does ult the Malphite. Malphite's ult is down after using the mid lane. Public Execution comes in from Ambessa, but they are going to be on the turret for us. They will clean up and take You Can Dream off the Rift. So it is good night for You Can Dream for the next 30 seconds. Not feeling too bad about it overall, will Old and Washed be. However, the Mordekaiser is probably feeling a bit better. As I said, did end up going with some initial AP with that Rylai's coming on through, just to help slow down Old and Washed a bit more. They don't want that Kha'Zix moving too quickly. And he is up over 30 CS on the Malphite as well, so going to be feeling good. Malphite is responding with the Hollow Radiance for a bit of magic resist. The Ash Arrow goes onto the Rakan, who just ults out of it. So ult for ult on the side of both teams. Unsealed Spellbook for Lightless, so we'll be able to switch between those summoners pretty handily. In fact, now I think about it, that is probably what happened, is he used Cleanse and it's now gone to heal. Ulting again from Malphite into the mid lane, back onto the Charm from Ari, and it is just the sequel to the original, as the mid laner of Titans Never Surrender goes down again. Ari is now trying to solo kill the Ambessa in her own jungle. Will get pretty close, is thinking about the dive, and isn't quite going to have the range to get there. However, it is still looking like the side of Titans Never Surrender are no longer safe in their old jungle, as Lightless does face check a bush, much to his dismay, as the Kha'Zix is there and waiting. Stuck under their own turret right now, as there are 3 bot, but that is okay, as they are going to recall and give Titans Never Surrender a little bit of space to farm. However, they will still be very upset with the state they are currently in. Malphite still getting pushed in. Looks like that top turret is on the last plate. So, despite the gold disadvantage of about 3k right now for Titans Never Surrender, they may end up getting the first tower as that Mordekaiser continues to push in. And the Kha'Zix has been focusing bot lane most of the time this match, so it does make sense that the Malphite is suffering a little bit. As I said, not going to be really making the most of that armor stacking, which is what he's looking for with his passive into that Mordekaiser. Will just end up suffering for most of this laning phase. Still getting lots of value with those ults, pretty much burning it the minute it comes back up again, which is soon. Probably about 10 seconds on that one, so we should keep our eyes peeled for the potential of another, what's it called after a sequel? Sequel, and then it goes, what is it? I actually forget. What comes after a sequel? Oh, never mind. Well, Ambessa is getting her after sequel of kills, so 3 and 1 now. Making a bit of comeback. Still not too much CS difference between her and the Kha'Zix. Obviously, Spinach is loving the Ambessa on a playable level for him, as it is a champ he is very familiar on. Sorry. Will not be given up very easily at all, despite the slow start they've had. Does take out that Ashe again, so the Ashe is not looking the best. Is still up CS, and does have a bit more itemization over the MF. Still not performing well individually though, as it looks like that Kha'Zix is finally going to pass top side, and BRDN will take out YSL on that Mordekaiser. Quickness coming out from Lightless as he dashes on in to try to do, I don't know what, maybe disrupt the Victor. Does get himself out of there without burning any stuns at all. Malphite looking to take some plating, something he's not had the pleasure of doing for quite a while. Won't get the turret as the Mordekaiser is deciding to ult back in, not sorry, definitely not ult, teleport back in again. He is flashless now, so might have to play a little bit safer when trying to push in on that turret. Third Drake comes on through for Old and Wash. They are stacking those Drakes tonight, and happy doing so. Still zero competition from the side of Titans Never Surrender on that one. First turret will go over to the Mordekaiser. YSL still a significant lead over Malphite. Him and Spinach on the Ambessa are definitely the shining star of the side of Titans Never Surrender. BRDN wanting to get the scuttle. Probably will still get it, as last I checked, the Mordekaiser does not possess Smite, and will probably now possess Death. Or no, as Whitelist does come back in. Knock up gives a bit of time for the Mordekaiser to regain some lost health. Flash out from Malphite, and it is a 4v2 in the top lane that will result in the death of the Braum. Charm comes through for Ari, looking to chunk out Victor, and she will do so. Griff still looking really good at 3-0-3, a super strong Ari. Ambessa gets a red buff, and is going to recall and come back out again. 4-1 on the Ambessa, so still holding his own very well this match. Will definitely be looking to take a fight at the next Drake, I imagine, as that will be for Soul Point, and that is not what you want to let slip by so easily as the first 3 Drakes have. The Mordekaiser still going to be pushing in on that top lane. He's just, the Malphite can't keep up, to be honest, at this stage. So we're looking to push that lead more as much as we can, as that is the biggest lead that any individual lane has for TNS. Mid lane turret going down as Overwatch to pick up their first turret. Ari's going to drive the bus as she takes it on out of there, and into a wall she goes. Probably going to need a bit more than that. Pass your license testing. Should be okay for now though. I think it's probably Riot's fault for not putting traffic lights on the map. Can't blame the summoners for that one. I mean, how would I drive without traffic lights, right? I mean, what would you even do? Just 4-way giveaways at every intersection does not sound like a fun time, as far as I'm concerned. Things coming out on both sides for that top jungle. Bottom jungle for Titans Never Surrender. A point of contention this match for sure, as that Kha'Zix has been looking to get a lot of assassinations over there. Again, the wave clear from YSL is quite significant. Spinach is there to back him up as well too, as he looks to push in the second turret. Talking about second turrets, that's what goes down for DNS as their bot lane turret falls to the Ashe. Still 0-2-0, but with about a 50 CS lead on the MF. So probably feeling good. Great ult in from Lightless onto that one, as it does result in an ult from MF. Max range up to comes in, and that is a ult charm onto the Spinach, who will get chewed up and spit back out again, like a lot of kids tend to do with their Spinach. So he will be feeling like food right now that Old and Wash is playing with. BRDM will make it out there, despite taking a turret shot. Inner turret goes down from the bot lane. Well, not yet, but I'm sure it will, as the Malphite is zoning this Victor away. Gravity Field comes down, but no stuns anywhere, as no one decides to step into it. Looking pretty down here for Titans Never Surrender. They're going to be internally speaking about what their options are moving forward. Looking to hopefully get a pick onto this Braum is the idea, as flash out from Lightless does not actually result in anything, not even taking the Braum flash. Pretty much the entire Old and Washed still have their flashes up for this Drake fight, so feeling pretty good. Titans Never Surrender will start it, looking to quickly chunk it out. However, the Kha'Zix is here. Mordekaiser looking to zone him away, as he will. Takes him into the ultimate round. Will result in besting the Drake, but not going to result in them winning the team fight, as Ambessa goes down first, Mordekaiser second, and Swelfie third. Flash in from the Ahri to try to get Lightless, as he dashes onto the MF, will not end up dying himself, but for all practical purposes, he is off the rift until he heals back up again. It's going to be a pretty easy Baron take for Old and Washed right now, as they do not have much competition on this. BRDM will be trying not to die to the Baron, as he's on the lower end of his health bar. We'll have the Ashe there as well to take a little bit of the heat, as she is. They will definitely be getting this though, as Ambessa is coming down but will not be quick enough. Lightless is taken out by the Ahri, was trying to get vision. However, Ahri said that you were not allowed to get vision and executed him for it. Does feel bad for Lightless being executed to get vision. Classic support experience when you're playing from behind and you are not a Leona or Nautilus or any other champion that can tank a few hits. And he's got the, is it the Zeeks? But will offer some protection, not enough though. This Mordekaiser can still take on the Malphite pretty handily, as he does have to flash out of there over the wall to escape the grasp. Lightless goes in, Gravity Field comes out, Lightless goes back out again, and nothing comes from it for Titans Never Surrender except significant damage to their own health bars. BRDN looking for a isolation angle onto a member of DNS. Will not find one yet. He'll keep looking though. Bar dashes out of the Gravity Field. Trying to go wide. Ambessa goes in. Great bullet time from the Ambessa. Bar door goes up. They will get a kill onto the Ashe and Braum. So good engage there from the side of TNS. The Mordekaiser will continue to look to try to get a bit of gold out of this second turret, which has a bounty on it currently. Taking a turret shot for his overzealousness. Pushing mid now for TNS, as they have a little bit of free time. While the bot lane of Old and Washed try to respawn. Can get a bit of gold out of this as the crystalline overgrowth does fall in a instant. Still more turret shots being tanked by Mordekaiser. However, he is just going to continue to push. Unfortunately, the shutdowns for Ahri and the Kha'Zix were not redeemed, as they are still standing with a perfect score sheet for both BRDM and Griff so far this game. And another kill will get added to Griff as they find the Mordekaiser wandering by himself on low health. A firm on him results in a pretty quick kill, as they are now looking to push out the inner turret of DNS. Ambessa will be there to protect the structures that protect the Nexus. DNS, no blue buff for spinach today, as that is taken by the Ashe. Bard decides to not pick up the blue buff. Gonna leave it for someone else if someone else can get there in time. Probably worth the risk as there is no one in that area of the jungle. So they are probably still got PTSD from Kazakhs in a bush waiting to jump out at him. All grouping mid right now, even the Mordekaiser coming down. Spinach trying to get a bit of damage out. Charm out on the Mordekaiser, and he is going to be deleted. Has to flash out of the gravity field as arrow will come through. Ult out of Braum as Spinach is trying to cause havoc, but not quite getting there. Bullet time doesn't do too much as most champions are going wide. Kazakh gets a kill, Ashe gets a kill, and the side of TNS are being deleted systematically as the Ahri continues to dash up. The Kazakhs will jump on in and secure the ace for the side of Old and Wash as they are pushing into the base right now. First inhibitor going down, and they are looking to end. Who cares? There's a Mountain Drake up in the Kraken Pit. They think they can end right now, and I think they can as well as they take out the two inner turrets, and they are looking onto the Nexus of TNS. They've got a sizable 11k gold lead, and that is showing up as they do indeed win. Victory for the side of Old and Washed as they take game 1. They continue their perfect streak of wins right now. They were at 12-0 as of week 5. I think I have been told they are now, let me check. They are still 12-0. Okay, so yeah, they are now 13-0 and looking to continue that. Let me get out of this victory screen. And we will be looking to start the next game shortly. I'm going to put us all to a brief
Thought if I learned enough I could break the fall, but all it ever did was make me miss to know it all. And sometimes I yell like a wounded dog, even when I know there's nothing wrong. It doesn't ever seem to matter what I know. No, it doesn't ever seem to matter when I'm losing all control. I don't know how to find peace. I don't know how to find the stillness that I need. I feel it calling me. I don't know how to find peace. I thought if I did it all I could take control. You can't get left behind if you're already Sometimes I yell like a wounded dog. Maybe 'cause I know there's something wrong, but it doesn't ever seem to matter. No, it doesn't ever seem to matter when I'm losing all control. Oh, I don't know how to find peace. Oh, I don't know how to find the stillness that I need. Oh, I feel it calling me. Oh, I don't know how to find peace. I don't know how to find it. In a world that's ever changing, you're the only thing that remains. That remains. When the night is falling and the stars don't shine as bright, I'll be right by your side. Ooh, do you know how far I go to get to you? To you. Eyes on eyes met with no regret. All I knew was you, was you. All I knew was you. When the wind is blowing and the roads are
All right, we are back and into the draft for game 2. Starting out with let me actually bring up the draft for game 2. I should have changed my source quickly for that. Almost forgot about that. Not used to streaming on a Wednesday. Almost forgot about it. We've got pretty much the same exact bands coming out though. If you were here for game 1, you missed nothing on that. Same exact bands actually, with the side of Old and Wash banning the Zinjal J4 and Mundo, and TNS banning the Bard and Nidalee. Although the Anivia is a new ban. Griff is a favorable Anivia player, so looking to hopefully not give him as much priority as he had on that Ahri last game, which did take over, as well as the Kazakhs did. Oriana going to be the first pick for Old and Washed. I don't have any notes about that one for Griff, but another AP control mage sort of deal on the mid lane for them. So probably going to be similar in play style, or at least what they're going to be trying to do with it. Engage with that shockwave as well too. Going to offer a lot of value depending on the rest of the composition. Nefari is going to be, I think, the counter pick to the Oriana for the side of TNS. Can be mid, can be jungle. So we will see in the end. If I had to guess though, I reckon this is a mid Nefari. Will be Varus is going to be the bot lane. So Monroe going to pick the Varus up. Does take it away from Abe. Abe loves his Varus. Most played champion this season so far. So good to get that out of his hands and into yours. We'll see what the response from Abe will be on that one as we continue to make our way through the draft. Caitlyn is the response. So Abe choosing the Caitlyn. Karma coming through for golden features. As mentioned, probably not his favorite pick out of everything, as I would assume he is a bit more of a fan of the engagier, more involved supports as opposed to the backline support experience. Caitlyn will have a lot of range though, so a lot of can stay very far behind while playing that Karma. Will offer a bit of poke in lane with the tethers as well. Probably not as much poke as that Lux will, as I am going to still assume it is a Lux support paired with the Varus. Not seeing too much from what I watch, at least, but does have the instantaneous CC with those roots on the E, and the Q does offer a lot of poke with a bit of shielding on the W as well, and of course the ultimate that makes all the ADCs sad when it steals your kill with the Shining Light. Gwen and Fiora banned out. Those are both targeted at YSL. Makes sense. He had a great game despite everything for the side of TNS, and those are two of his more played champs. The one that isn't banned so far, that are his top 3 this season so far, is the Aurelia. So potentially could bring that one out. Could be an interesting pick. Okay, Nico being picked. Now it must be support Nico and Lux in the mid lane. Right, I think Nico can go mid by herself as well. So still, it could be either way. Oren's going to be the pick for You Can Dream. Going with another tanky top laner with aspirations of being unkillable. We'll see if that pans out as to how he wants it to. As it didn't last game, despite the win, Old and Washed were suffering a bit on that top lane. Zed is going to be the final pick, which will be put in the jungle. So BRDN looking to assassinate some of the players on TNS. Definitely so far, it's looking pretty squishy with a Nico, Lux, and Varus. A lot of AP as well. And there is the Aurelia I mentioned that will be picked up by YSL. I still love it when I predict things so perfectly like this. It makes me feel great as a caster who is still relatively new to everything. Well, very, very, very new to everything. So love to see it. I want to give a massive shout out to Yves Saint Laurent. Am I butchering that? Because it's YVES. So that would be Yves. It's not like Yves. Or is it just yes? Is the V silent? Because I would assume the Y is silent and the V is pronounced, but maybe I'm wrong. And yes, we are ready to start. Player's going to get into the lobby. We are going to have a spectator delay this time. I know we didn't last time. We just want to make sure that there is absolutely no chance of someone potentially watching the stream to gain any advantage, because the actual stream delay from live to you guys is about a minute. And that's enough to get potentially some information. So players have said they were going to put the delay back on. But it does mean you get to listen to my amazing music playlists for a couple minutes longer. Would love some feedback on that. You know, I take song requests if you'd really like. As again, they've left it up to me as to put what to put in there. So we are finalizing those picks for now. I'm gonna put us on a short break again as we prepare and get ready for game 2 of Old and Washed versus Titans Never Surrender. Get your drinks, get your food, any snacks, anything else, and I will see you back on the Rift very, very shortly.
Don't tell me I can't have it when I want it. Don't tell me I can't have it when I want. Don't tell me I can't have it when I want it. When I want. Don't tell me I can't have it when I want it. Don't tell me I can't have it when I want. Don't tell me I can't have it when I want it. When I want. Don't tell me I can't. 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 Don't tell me I can't.
Alright, welcome back everybody as we make our way into game 2.
Summoner's Rift.
We've got the same sides, which makes it super easy for me again, as I do not
Minions
have
have
to
spawned.
make any adjustments to the titles. Thumbs up from Monroe. He's happy about it. I'm happy about it. We got the two bot laners of TNS sitting together in the bush, while the bot laners of Old and Washed deciding they don't want to be together. As one of them, they come together now in the end. Looks like it is going to be the Lux mid and Nico support. That was the most likely outcome. However, it was still a little bit up in the air. Aurelia already trying to punish the Ornn for existing close to her. So far, loving YSL's playstyle. Super fun to watch and talk about. Hoping to get a lot of time up in that top lane in this game. It'd be great to have a bit of that success that YSL has been having and get it to translate elsewhere on the map, as last game it didn't quite, unfortunately. The Old and Washed team just got too much of a lead too quickly and ran away with it. I do like the Nefari jungle pick specifically. Should be good into that Zed going untargetable when the Zed uses its shadows and clones and jumps on in on you and you have no idea where it's going to come from, and you can just hop up into the air, spin around in the ball a little bit and not take any damage. YSL going to take a bit of damage and have to flash out there after taking a turret shot. Flash response from the Ornn, as the Ornn does take the first blood. So unexpected there as we continue to fight in the bottom side jungle of TNS. Same as last time, as the jungler BRDN tried to invade Spinach and take his blue buff. Will do so as Spinach is getting really low, does go untargetable, and will not get hit by the Caitlyn shot, and lives to kill another camp, in this case the Gromp. Zed feeling pretty good about himself, looking to get off to the same sort of start that he got off to last time. BRDN thinking he is the best player on the Rift once again. Statistically, they should be pretty even. However, BRDN is showing that he is the more experienced team player. Does make sense, as Old and Washed have been playing as a team for a lot longer. Well, I don't know if it's been a lot longer, but this season they've been playing more games together compared to TNS, who, as mentioned, do have two fill-in players with their mid and their jungle. Fruit coming out onto the Varus as they are going to snipe and take out the Tarma and likely get a double kill onto the Caitlyn, and they do. So looking a lot better this game for TNS. Flash burned for Karma, both flashes burned for Monroe and Lightless. They will not have that for the next fight. However, Monroe did also burn the barrier to survive. They will be typing #worth in chat after that. Caitlyn still getting out to a CS lead though, despite that, as Abe is 1-0, but does have 10 CS ahead. So looking like a pattern so far. Does tend to go down in kills, but maintains quite a substantial CS lead over his opponents. As he continues to build on that, his name is going to keep messing with me, because as you can see on the screen, it says it's FKN Abe. Obviously we know what that means, but I have to read it specifically and just call him Abe for now. Aurelia is still looking to fight with You Can Dream's Ornn. However, that Ornn is proving to be quite tough and is going to kill YSL again. So a needless overcommit on the side of YSL in that instance, as Aurelia takes another trip back to the fountain. A forced trip back to the fountain as well too. This is not your leisurely vacation. This is you getting reprimanded from work and saying you have to go home. You will not get paid. Like when you play Monopoly and you get a chance card that says go to jail, do not pass go, do not collect 200. YSL is not going to be collecting his 200 as he is now farming under turret. Caitlyn continues to push into the Varus despite being down a kill. This time Spinach is looking onto the Drake, hoping to not let Old and Wash get a Drake lead this game. The Aurelia is going to be looking to get the kill back onto You Can Dream, and maybe this was a big brain play all along because YSL gets a shutdown gold for that. So with the CS lead that they already managed to acquire, now I'm going to get more turret gold as well too. Probably looking like a good lane again. Root from the Nico. There's going to be a lot of straight line routes this game between the Nico E and the Lux E. I'm pretty sure they're E. YSL getting 2v1 as he tries to proxy. Gonna die for it again, but will continue to maintain a CS lead as Ornn's gonna lose some of that under the turret, and YSL will get back out onto the rift before their wave comes close to the turret. Ping's coming out, warning that Orianna to not stay too close to the Drake pit, as the jungler of Titans Never Surrender may be there. Spinach is not though. He is on his Raptors, doing what any good fox does, chase the chickens. However, is it... See, okay, so I think Spinach is Nefari, right? The Nefari to me looks like a fox. But then I hear a lot of people calling Nefari a dog. I think Nefari is more fox-like than dog-like, personally. But then Nefari does have a hot dog skin, so what does that say? It's not a hot fox skin, it's a hot dog, but is that just because Nefari is long and looks like it can fit in a bun, or is it because it's a dog? I don't know. Either way, Aurelia gonna get blown upon again by the Ornn. Does have an advantage level. Zed comes on into swiftly. Shockwave from Orianna comes in. However, Swiftly will get that two-man route into the ultimate and almost delete Griff in a couple combinations. So seeing that mid lane Lux come in, one of those skill shots there, definitely equaling the entire playing field. Great thing about playing Lux is you do get that ultimate up constantly. We can already see that's ticking down to halfway cooldown, while the Orianna Shockwave is still at 1/3. We'll have that up much sooner and be able to use it again. EZ will take the grubs and Spinach should take the dragon. So nice and even this game. For the side of TNS, they are in a much better position than what they were in last time. Monroe, I would assume, would be trying to get the overgrowth on it. Decides he doesn't want the gold and backs off. Karma was coming down. I think he still could have got an auto off there, at least. but maybe this is just my perspective as spectator. Ult comes out from Aurelia as YSL tries to continue to sustain some damage to You Can Dream. Is going to do so. Is probably going to go for the dive on the turret. Horn does flash to escape that, sends the Horn out. Is it called Call of the Forge? Am I getting the name right? I think so. Maybe. Someone tell me in chat if I am misnaming all my skills today. Rally recalls as Ornn TPs in. Will continue to lose CS into this Aurelia though, so feeling pretty bad. Does have his Sunfire complete as Aurelia finishes her Blade of the Ruined King, doing her best impression of Viego with getting his, well, the Blade of the Ruined King, which is his. So stealing his sword. Nefari comes on in, does find Abe. Abe flashes out. The Pop Blossom comes in from Lightless and is going to result in a double kill likely. The flash does come out of the Abe to try to escape, however it still does die. Zed comes in, but it is too late. Does manage to pick up the Nefari, however both the bot lane duo of Lightless and Monroe are going to escape that one. Despite the 20 CS lead experienced by the Varus, he is now 3-0-1, so got to be feeling good currently. A lot of gold being siphoned into him. Finished his Ghost Blade so he can run faster when he presses his buttons. Wave clear ult from the Lux. Misses the route onto Griff. Will probably die for it now. Not even going to bother trying to flash there. Didn't have it. Never mind. As she does just die in the mid lane. So ult out from Aurelia. She builds her triangles. Going to be trying to solo kill You Can Dream again, but he does just do the strategy called walk back on the turret and makes it out. Feathers connect on the Varus, but he's very far on the turret, so unlikely to sustain any life-changing injuries in this altercation. Ornn's looking hesitant to walk up as he can see some of those minions are close to their kill threshold, and he knows that Aurelia is going to flash in. Horn comes back in as the knockup on Aurelia is successful. The tower dive will not result in anything for TNS as they both die for it instead. I don't think that was a good idea. The Nefari took about 2 turret shots before he even managed to touch the Ornn, as the Ornn moved back after knocking the Aurelia up. And then the Aurelia went in on already low damage after trying to push in the Ornn, and took a single turret shot and died after the Nefari did manage to go untargetable and get out. However, the Zed was there and just put a clone on and threw out some ninja stars and killed the Fox. So it is Fox hunting today for Zed as the jungler of Old and Wash gets off to another phenomenal start this match. Going 3-0-0, very comparable to the Kazakhs that he piloted last game. The top lane of Old and Wash doing a bit better as well too. Aurelia's still probably feeling like she can survive this matchup and hopefully get an advantage, but it's been playing quite with a lot of acceleration so far, and it's not always resulted in the best outcome for YSL, as Old and Wash do get the second Drake with minimal contests. By minimal I mean 0 contests, so it's 1-on-1 in Drakes. And it's once again BRDM. He loves that bottom side jungle invade. It's his favorite. Flash on into Griff, flash out from Softly, flash in the mid lane. They are flashing each other in an appropriate way. In League of Legends, it's okay to do it in this case, as they do not get what they want. Well, Softly gets out of it, so I suppose they get what they want, but they end up on low health, and Griff gets nothing, so definitely didn't get what they want. Playing out a couple wards in the top line, as that 3-0-1 Varus is looking to try to push an advantage into the Caitlyn and Karma, but the Caitlyn and Karma do outrange the Varus and Nico, as such are trying to push out. The knockback from the Caitlyn shot did not go too well, as I don't know if it was just a amazing prediction from Lightless that did end up in a route onto Abe, or if he was just missing the initial shot and happened to route it anyway. However, I'm sure this will end up on a predictions video TikTok highlight montage for him in the near future, so keep an eye out for that. My drink is finished. That is not good. Luckily, I have a backup drink. Nefari onto Griff. Griff's pretty close to the turret. Does manage to walk through Swelfie. Swelfie's probably going to die now though, as his shockwave does land onto Swelfie. Also, the Spinach's Nefari decided to stay in a little bit too long, thinking maybe he could get something there, but he could get nothing. As again, when are they going to learn that BRDN should not be... Sorry, yawning all night. Should not be engaged upon. It is a Zed, don't forget. He can teleport to multiple different locations when he feels like it. So probably not the best champion to try to pin down. Pot Blossom comes in through from the Nico as she flashes in there. Will result in another kill for the Varus. This is a tried and tested strategy, is the Pot Blossom flash into at least one kill. Caitlyn will escape on the tiniest bit of health, but does have to spend her flash and barrier to get out of there. Looking to get some of the first platings they will achieve on the turret and deny the Caitlyn some CS. However, the Caitlyn is still up in CS, so Abe doing an amazing job to stay relevant in this game, even though he's 0-2-1 against a 4-0-1 Varus. Ornn decides he wants to take the Krugs himself. Does not want the Fox to get them. He is a Forge God, so in his eyes, rocks are probably more of his thing as opposed to a Fox's. Foxes don't normally eat rocks, as far as I'm aware. They do, however, eat eggs, and in a way the Krugs kind of look like eggs sometimes, like the little Krugs do. So maybe the Fox got confused. The Fox is going to come back in on Abe, and they are under the turret, so they're going to take a shot. Shielding does come out from Karma. They do manage to survive that and take the turret anyway. Aurelia is going to try to take the turret in the top lane. Hexdrake is coming on in 40 seconds. Horn comes out and misses onto the Aurelia. Does not matter, as despite the ultimate, the Aurelia is going to go down after the Zed counter ults on top. Just in time to recall and make it back out to the Dragon Pit is what the Zed's going to be doing, as the Essence Reaver for that Zed has been upgraded. The other upgraded item currently on the Rift is the Sunfire for the Ornn, who has managed to dig himself out of the CS hole that he found himself in at the beginning of the match. And the Aurelia has further lengthened her kill count, as Old and Wash are going to take the next Drake on without competition. Sorry, it's a weeknight, and you know, for a weeknight, late game for a weeknight, that's why I needed that orange juice and Red Bull, obviously. The Wolves gonna go down, trying to be stolen by BRDN. I do not think he got them though, as his smite is still up and the smite of Spinach is down. So Spinach did manage to save his fellow canine friends. That was the word I was looking for. Not feline. Feline is like cats, you know? Yumi and Rengar. Felines. But Spinach is canine. Does he have that dog in him in this game? Or are they going to bow out 0-2 by the end of this match? It's not looking too good, as the gold lead for Old and Washed is sitting at 6,000 gold. That is, you know, that's about 2 full items, and it is definitely showing up with the Zed having 2 items compared to the 1 item and components of the Nefari, as well as the 1 item components of the Aurelia compared to the 3 full items of the Ornn. So, yeah, as I said, the only good thing is the Varus, who's got 2 items compared to Caitlyn's 1. Lightless and his Nico have completed the Rockabelt, so we'll have another way to engage the Pop Blossom. Again, it is all going to rest on a good Pop Blossom and ideally an Aurelia ultimate where she can dash around, cause a lot of damage to the rest of Old and Washed as Varus continues to chunk them out. However, it does look like both Nico and her clone are going to instantly go down without even trying to use the ultimate. Flash and heal is out. Nefari will try to go in on the rooted golden features. He will manage to get out of there though. Does end up dying in the end to the Lux, but they will take the inner mid lane turret. Varus is super low, trying to get some damage out, but just can't step up, otherwise he will likely die. This is not normally the goal when you're playing this game, despite most of my normal solo queuing next season. The goal is to die as many times as possible. That has been what YSL was unfortunately doing at the early game, resulting in a 1-5 KDA right now, and is paying for it. Still managing to maintain some sort of CS, but is, you know, just got to level 15 compared to Ornn's level 16, and is down in a lot of experience. We'll try to take on the Ornn here. They do manage to get the shutdown as everything is invested in on it, with both the ult of the Aurelia and the Pop Blossom from the Nico. We'll get a substantial amount of gold from that. Has completed Kraken Slayer as well too. Still down a full item, but will definitely be able to grab a little bit more damage and does come back on the lane with the hammer component. 12 kills to 8 right now, so even though it's different of 4 kills, that is still a maintained 6,000 gold lead for the side of Old and Wash. They will not be feeling too bad about themselves. They may be feeling pretty old, but their current gameplay definitely does not say washed on it. Swelfie standing by turret, waiting for minions to walk on up that they can farm without dying. Always a great goal to have. I personally try to not die when I farm my minions as well, mostly unsuccessfully, but I still give it my best shot. Bit of quiet time. Never mind. There's going to be an ult out on Swelfie. Will get a root under the turret and will result in a shutdown onto the Zed. So again, despite being 2 and 3 and down, Swelfie's roots have been phenomenal. The Nico walks a little bit too far and does end up getting headshotted. Nefari does make Caitlyn's double kill a success, and it is looking like Soul Point is going to be obtained by Old and Washed after the Caitlyn did handily dispatch of the mid laner and support. Sorry, the support and jungle on the side of TNS, and it was a 1-for-1 with the Zed and the Lux. So, first death. I think this is the first death of the series now. Onto BRDN, so I suppose the congratulations is in order for TNS. His bounty has gone down from 700 to 100. So he did manage to do good enough to the point where he still gets a bounty. Very commendable effort, I would say. As the Zonyas is complete for Orianna, the first needlessly large rod has been purchased, so we'll see if that does build into a Shadow Flame or if it builds into a Rabadon's. I think at this point she should be building Rabadon's, as it's not exactly like anybody on the opposing team is building any sort of armor. The Nefari has built his Zeke's Revenge, I think. Second item, which I feel like is odd, but it will provide about 20 magic resist if my memory is correct as to last time I bought that item myself. So he will be building a storm around him when he does get engaged, and he is really the main point and click engage on the side of TNS. The issue is though is that he tends to get blown up pretty quickly because he is in the Nefari at the end of the day. He can go untargetable, so he's pretty slippery, but when you engage into 5 members, it doesn't really matter how slippery you are if you just get blown up, which is currently what tends to be happening to him. The Baron's going to be started by Old and Washed, as they do have 5 men over there. The Lux does TP in, it's getting low as they split out, looking to stop the Baron take, as the headshot does about half the Varus's health. Orin does just miss his dash. The Nefari is going to do his best, but not make it. The ult out of YSL does manage to get a double kill, as the Lux does chunk out the Zed. However, it's a Zed, so the Nefari tries to engage, but does not get successful, as Zed teleports away and then also kills the Lux because he felt like it. It is going to be a 2-for-4 trade, which does favor the team who only died twice, in which case it is Old and Washed. And as you viewers of a keen eye will notice, BRDN has said clip it in chat, so I suppose I must now clip this and post it in the clip section. Because, you know, why not? If you make a great play, I reckon everybody should get to see it. And the Zed indeed has been playing phenomenally this match. BRDN 10-1-2. He's built up that gold bounty back to 450. It is looking like this game is going to be heavily favored towards Old and Washed. They are likely going to try starting that Baron again at some point, as once they have that, they will be able to siege the base a lot harder and hopefully open it up. Maybe get some inhibitor turrets and potentially even some inhibitors. Vision getting cleared out by BRDN. As you can see, he has built that QSS, as he does not want to get continuously rooted by the Lux and Nico, as that is really the only way they can even do anything, is just continual roots onto them. The Varus is still 4-0-4 and has managed to build a CS advantage on the Caitlyn. Has got 3 items completed, but he just, Monroe's still, he somehow feels invisible. Invisible in the team fights right now. And it's not really his fault. He's got such limited engage to actually free fire onto. And I think really that's where they're failing as a composition right now, as the Nico can go and pop blossom, but what are you laying onto the Pop Blossom besides the Aurelia ult? It's tricky. 2-man Pop Blossom onto never mind. Well, that's the Aurelia ult onto a Pop Blossom as the Lux ults onto it and does blow up the Karma. So they are actually going to get a 3-for-1. The Drake is not up yet. The Baron's still up. They're going to take this mid turret, assuming Varus does not die. They're going to claim 2 bounties there from both the Zed and the turret bounty as well. Aurelia is going to continue to push into this Ornn, but that Ornn is not losing any health, as has finished the Jack shows now. So we're feeling extra tanky into those extended fights. Second Dragon is going to get taken by TNS, so they are denying the soul from Old and Washed. And you know, I really think that Nico should be writing clip it in chat now after a phenomenal Pop Blossom that really just shut me up after saying that the Varus was suffering from limited CC. Lightless on the Nico does decide that he's not limited CC and does significant work to the backline of Old and Washed. As you can see, almost all their flashes are burned, except You Can Dream. Coming up pretty quickly now though, as are the flashes on the side of TNS. Again, lots of posturing around this Baron. The Cupcake traps are up along the side. They are looking to potentially start it again, as it will force TNS to respond. The Aurelia is currently pushing bot lane tower, so they are going to be 4v5 in this. Pop Blossom goes on with just the Ornn, which again is not what you're looking for. Caitlyn does secure the Baron as the Nefaria goes in and gets blown up. Aurelia is TP'd in, but the Zed is going to flash out and then teleport back and die. Not really what you were looking for as a Zed, as the Aurelia is going to try to come in and be the hero. It does end up not being the hero after a double stun onto 2 champions that are still able to damage them in the moment, and will also sacrifice her life for a failed Baron steal. The Lux is going to delete Karma once again, common occurrence currently, but the problem is that it's the Karma, so not really what is going to be the main worry in destroying the base, as the Ornn is still here and it is going to continue to destroy the base. He is feeling so tanky right now and can walk up and pretty much just take shots from any of the members in TNS and not even think about it. And that is being seen very obviously right now as they take the mid inhibitor. Super minions are going to be marching up along the mid lane, likely Baron empowered as well too, as that buff will be up for a while. The gold leads actually decreased over the past 5 or so minutes. As mentioned before, there were a few shutdowns when they did get for that 1-for-3, and Lightless got the amazing Pop Blossom onto Old and Washed. The 700 gold bounty is still present on that Orianna. Griff has had an amazing series. Despite the plays of BRDN and Old and Washed jungle being a bit flashier, it really has been Griff and the consistent output he's managed to achieve that's brought them the position and gold advantage they have right now. The CS at 317 over the Lux is pretty devastating, and 604 on a late game Orianna is going to be feeling so powerful. One good shockwave onto TNS and the entire team will be wiped. And there you can see that Ornn, Root from Lux, does absolutely nothing as all the damage is focused onto him. And he ends up losing about a third of his health bar. And is just going to walk right in. A lot of engage coming out from TNS as they are going to try to get in there. Aurelia does come in. Ornn comes out, is going to get missed as You Can Dream is stunned. They finally take him out after the YSL's Aurelia does die for it. Root coming on to the Griff. However, Griff will manage to back out of there without issue. Low health bars for Nico. as they're going to try to clear the wave, and they do successfully defend their bottom lane inhibitor turret. This Varus is still a very, very, very deadly force to be reckoned with. 4-0 and 10. Surprised this Varus hasn't really managed to receive any sort of bounty or anything yet. He's probably feeling a little bit sad, all the effort he's put in, and on the scoreboard it nothing to show for it compared to the 6-0 and 5 Orianna. Lightless is going to die here for trying to ward his jungler's jungle. Once again, just suffering the consequences of trying to play support, especially Nico as a support, to check a jungle that is currently being destroyed by a very, very, very fed Zed. The Nefari is going to try to steal the camps of the Zed, as I almost thought that Lux ult was going to hit the Drake. I reckon it came very, 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 very close. I don't know how much damage that ult is doing to objectives at this stage in the game, but you'd have to think it would be over 1k, which would put it pretty close to the 1400 threshold that the smite of the Zed is. Now I'm sure the Zed can Q smite to probably get a bit more damage out of the Drake, but I don't actually know how Zed's abilities function on objectives exactly, so the absolute damage I'm not entirely sure, but it was a really good try from Swelfie there. Perfect timing. And the Zed is going to now try to go onto the Swelfie, who does zone use the headshot and flash out. Misses the root and is going to... No, is not going to die. Instead, the Zed gets killed again. Looks like the burn is going to destroy Selfie's Lux in the end. So that red jungle pet is definitely doing work for the Zed. So the Zed's, again, he's going on in, and he's a bit overzealous on these plays, a bit overconfident on what he can achieve, as he's got the QSS, but you can see it's on cooldown. There is a lot of ability fruits on the side of TNFs with the Nico and the Lux, and they are actually landing them quite consistently. So that the QSS is doing work, but it's only going to work once before it goes in cooldown, and there's two abilities you have to be watching out for constantly. YSL, he's built his got Shojins, he's got a Cracker Slayer, and I'm forgetting the name of the new, it's like Endless Hunger, Ravager or something. You know, the red one with sickles. Again, don't engage onto the Ornn, who's got about 9k health and is level 20 now. Is an absolute tank. He's got Knight's Vow as well too, so looking to really take as much damage onto himself as he can as he continues to upgrade his allies' items. The Infinity Edge on the Caitlyn has been upgraded, the Redemption on the Karma has been upgraded, providing so much late game value for the team. The gold has continued to even out, as Old Washed are only 4k ahead now. The Zed is going to once again engage on the 2. Pop losses from the Nico comes in and dies to pretty much the Ornn, as the Ornn gets rooted but does nothing about it again. And I think that will be Baron started for Old Washed, as they are now 5v4. Despite the Ornn being focused as normal, he's got all the health. One shockwave pretty much deletes the Varus, taking his first death of the match. Orianna will enter Zhonya's to negate the engage from the Nefari. Lux ult is thrown out, does get them low. BRDN is going to go down again, but this Ornn is unkillable, and he is just going to knock up after knock up after knock up until the side of TNS is all destroyed, as they can't damage him right now, and that is the biggest problem, is they can't get to any of the damaging members on the side of Old Wash, as the Ornn is going to just knock them up continuously. mid inhibitor getting destroyed again for the second time this match. We've had enough time for it to respawn and then be destroyed yet again in this match, as Lux will ult declare wave. For 1 and 11 now on that Varus, and I feel like I can revisit my point where saying that he just does not have enough CC right now. I mean, think of the value you get if you had, say, like any champ that could, any engaged champ that could take the Ornn and pull it out of the fight. Think a Thresh or a Nautilus that could land a hook onto a relatively immobile Ornn and pull it out of the way and allow Spinach to get into the squishier backline of Old and Watch. I mean, you can see him try to engage in the Ornn, and there's nothing. This is 5 members in a 40-minute game engaging onto a level 20 Ornn that's built only tank items, and it shows. They've just, you know, that's their entire cooldown of abilities gone onto one champ with pretty much nothing to show for it. As Baron is back up again, and they are still looking for it. Will be the second Baron of the series that they are looking for now. They have got Mountain Soul, and the Ornn is very, 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 very happy about it. Feeling so much more unkillable with it. And Elder Drake has got to be up pretty soon now, as I realized I think I forgot to turn on timers on the map, but luckily we can see based on the pings that it's not too far out. Caitlyn's laying her traps along the river's edge. Yep, Dragon has spawned. Spawnhorn comes in, great route onto the Ornn, so he misses the redirect for the Ram. They are going to start this Elder Drake though, or at least possibly to do so, as once again they are trying to delete this Nico, as the Nico looks for vision. However, Swelfie ended up getting deleted instead. A 3, almost 4-man Pop Blossom is stunning on the side of Lightless, but it is just going to result in nothing, as there was no follow-up from any of TNS, and I don't even think they could have followed up on it, as just the value of the Ornn and the rest of the composition and the Mountain Soul that Old and Washed have right now is too much, and they're going to go straight down the base. They're going to forego the Elder Drake. They don't need it at this stage. It's 5v1 with just Fox up right now, and the Fox cannot do anything onto this. He's got his GAs, he's going to go into it, and they're going to wait around to kill him one last time, because why not? And that is the game over with Old and Wash taking it 2-0 tonight. So much closer. Game 2, they did manage to really extend the game a lot more than I think a lot of us thought they would be able to. As you can see, it was a 42-minute, 34-second game, so quite late game. However, I don't think that favored them too much, as they are playing into a Caitlyn, Orianna, and Ornn. Ornn, of course, being one of the most favorable top lane scaling tanks that you can pick right now, and I think that showed more than anything else in this game, as the Ornn was completely and utterly unkillable. Gold lead in the end was just under 9k. That Orianna of Griff 8-0-8, completely unstoppable. The Zed being 15-5 and 8. Did get blown up a little bit towards the end there, but continued to find picks where it mattered. And unfortunately, Spinach, he tried his hardest. He couldn't really just get the agency he wanted in his jungle picks. It's unfortunate. I would have really liked to see him pop off. He did so well in an Ambassador, despite the pressure he was put under early, and couldn't quite recreate it with the Nefari. in the end, the bot lane duo of TNS did a lot better game 2. A lot better of a start as well. Just again, they didn't have anything else to go off really for it. I think it does kind of go back to they didn't have anything to engage upon. Irelia is not the tankiest champion, so they've got pretty much no front line for anything. And the Zed had so much access to the back line and all their damage healers. And the Ornn could just, he had no distractions. There was no other tank to, CC chain on or fight with. He could just go chain Swelfie, YSL, Monroe, anybody. So great game in the end. Great turnout from everyone. It's great to have you guys along for it. I'm gonna call it there, as it is getting late in the night now. Great game overall for everybody, and we will see you all next time.
If I could go back years, I wouldn't change nothing. If I could hold back tears, there'd be rain coming. Guide me like the beat, stay drumming. You think you know what matters till you see the penny drop. Shit, I saw the pound fall, trying to stand tall. I've been lost, trying to hide shame, running, trying to fight rain. You gave me hope in the darkest of hours, to guide me through the showers. I give up all these highs just to meet you in the deep end. I throw away these nights just to hear you speaking. I've been living fine, not a lot of meaning. I give up all these highs just to meet you in the deep end, deep end. I give up all these highs just to meet you in the deep end. I throw away these nights just to hear you speaking. I've been living fine, not a lot of meaning. I give up all these highs just to meet you in the deep end, deep end. I give up all these highs. I hear the ticking clocks, count the hours down, it never stops. I see me falling down from grace. I feel my faith is gone, I'm on my knees. Will you let go? Will you pray for me? Yeah, anxiety's my disease. So when I get lost, will you pray for me? Oh, I've suffered in silence so long. Would you pray for me?
never stops. I see me falling, falling down from grace. I fear the beast that has bitten me, trying to find my epiphany. Yeah.